First and foremost, rest in peace, Malcolm Jamal Warner. You meant so much to me, and I would say that I was so devastated of your passing, but you know what? You have left great legacy, and you will be truly, truly, truly missed. And I will try not to cry getting through this video because you meant so much to me and to all of us who grew up watching you. So rest in peace, rest in power, rest in heaven, and my condolences goes out to him and his family. We can all agree that Disney is the cornerstone to all of our childhoods, especially to us 90s kids. We have lived through the great era called the Renaissance era in Disney, from The Little Mermaid to The Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, The Lion King, Pocahontas, and so much more. And today, I'm going to tell you my top three favorite Disney movies during that era, that Renaissance era of all time for me. Okay, so let's just get into it. So don't get mad at me of my top three of my favorite Disney animated movies in the Renaissance era. Okay, y'all got y'all number one. I got my number one, and so there's a reason why my number one is my number one. But before I get into it, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment and share, and press that notification bell button to be notified when I post more of these videos. Coming in at number three of my top three favorite Disney animated movie is 1991's Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Beast is one of those movies that when I look at the beginning, the opening of Beauty and the Beast, when they telling the story, it's like it brought me, like right now it's that nostalgia is hitting me so bad. It's because I knew where I was when I looked at it, when I watched it for the first time, and I knew the feeling of, when I was like a child watching this. And and what I love about this animated movie is the fact that it talks about two people. One, you got the beauty, which is Belle, and you got the other one who's Beast. Now, Beast is a spoiled brat who only cares about the finer things in life and wants beautiful people around him. And that's why in the beginning of the movie, you're about the old beggar woman trying to like, hey, will you take this rose? And like maybe two or three times kicked her out, like slammed the door in her face, and then revealed that she is a beautiful witch, right? And you see him begging, right? Like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Oh, just because I'm beautiful, you want to beg and say you're sorry, but you couldn't say that while I was a beggar woman. So your heart is cold, and because of this, I'm going to put a spell on you and the people in your castle, and especially on the castle. Y'all gonna have gargoyles, except for angels. And then with Belle, since she's the beauty, she really and truly was not accepted in her village. Very beautiful girl who's very intelligent, who likes to read books, who loves her father to death, who is an inventor. And she wants to have an adventure. She knows there's a greater life somewhere. Yeah. I want it more than I can tell. Yeah, she wants that. She wants to have an adventure. She knows that something is beyond where she lives. And in a way, it's like because her father was captured. And well, it wasn't captured. He just needs a place to like, refuge in a way. I don't know why I can't even talk right now. Have a place of refuge because he was almost attacked by, well, he was attacked by wolves. And you get, um, Lumiere, okay, and Cosworth, and you get, Mrs. Potts and Chip. And they trying to make him comfortable. And you got the dog who's a footstool. And then the beast, put the father in the dungeon, you know. And Belle went to the castle and she traded her, life to let her father, go. And even though that shocked the beast, it's like, you got to stay here forever. And it's kind of like, okay, let me see you. Oh my goodness, this is a beast. And it's like even though she was like, taken aback, but it's kind of like it is what it is. And she did, she broke, the rule. She disobeyed the beast of not of going to the West Wing, which she's not supposed to. And this has always been like a controversy, is that anybody know that this is Stockholm syndrome? Well, in a way, it's not, because she left. She left, and she didn't have to save the beast, but she did it with the kindness of her heart and went back to the castle on her own volition. She did. So, in a way, it's not Stockholm syndrome to me. In my opinion, it's not Stockholm syndrome, because she could have just go and just be gone. Now, in a way, even in saying that, it's like, did the beast go after her trying to take her back? Because if that was the case, then there would be Stockholm syndrome if she eventually fell in love with the beast. But I guess it's kind of like, he is heartless. Why did he save me? So this must be something to him. Let me just go back and get to know him more. And she did. And he opened up and kind of like realized there are things that are beautiful in life than just money and power. And Belle showed him that. And also the beast showed Belle the adventure side of life. And it's like, no matter what, she sees the good in him, and he saw like the best in him because of her. So like they said in the documentary that I have on my playlist, y'all can go see it. That really it is. It's not so much a Belle story. It is the Beast story. It's like how he come from being a shallow guy. It's almost like Emperor's New Groove, being a shallow and mean guy. But it take either an adventure in Cusco's story, or it takes a woman, a person, to see the good in him, to say, hey, there's more in life than just, again, power and looks. You know, look at the beauty of it all and have fun. Even though he croaked, in a way, but her saying that she loved him before the final petal of the rose fell, and then he came back to being human form and everybody else. It's like, oh my gosh. And people got him so mad about how he looked. Understand this, in the 90s it was different. I mean, y'all get mad at how he looked in result because y'all too busy like focusing on how y'all see how a dude should look like now. But back then, it's kind of like, oh my gosh. It's just the way how he put her, her hair behind her ear and just caressed her face and kissed. I was like, oh my God, oh my God. It's such a good story. It's such a good story. And for them, it was so hard to tell. But the music, Beauty and the Beast, is such a lovely song. And I did not even know. I knew about People Bryson, but Celine Dion at that time, I did not know that it was Celine Dion singing it until like I discovered her in 95. Baby, 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 when you kiss me like that, you told me like that. And then come to find out she was the singer who sung Beauty and the Beast with People Bryson. Oh my gosh. That song would tell us all this time to it's such a good story. It's such a good like nostalgia cartoon movie. And every when the beginning of the movie is just like I'm being hit back of where I was when I was little. I was like how old? Like 5 years old, 91 when it came out. Depends on when it came out. I was 5. I think I just turned 5 during that year. But yeah, so Beauty and the Beast is my number 3. Whatever's number 2 is not to say that it is not better than what have you. Like my number 1 is better as a movie whole is better than number 2. No, no, because my number 2 movie overall, transparently, if that's a word, it is better. But the one who make the most impact on me, that's why it's number 2. And coming in at number 2 of my favorite top 3 Disney animated movie of all time is 1994's The Lion King. I know y'all gonna get mad at me for that. It is okay. It's okay. Y'all can get mad. But again, it's that made the most impact on me. Now, I would say this. Musically, oh, it's better. If I had to put musically, oh, it's better. Now I would say like with the whole Disney movie in the Renaissance era, that to me that the Little Mermaid did open that door. It did, but the Lion King for the music, why it touched the soul, it touched the spirit. And what I love about this movie is that now is like with Aladdin, it now takes the point of view from a boy's point of view. You know, you usually always hear from the princess side of the story, or somebody who's going to be a princess soon, or soon to be princess. Now we get Simba. Okay, who's the next in line? Now I have not seen the other. I've seen part two of the Lion King, but the other ones like the Mufasa one and all that kind of stuff, I have not seen that one to get the full story. But from the Lion King, from my knowledge, Simba was next in line. Scar had a problem with it. Now it's like what they said behind the scenes is like this whole is biblical. You know, you're talking about Joshua, you know, exiling Simba, and then you're talking about Moses. Am I worthy? Then, you know, Moses went up to the mountain Sinai of the burning bush. You know what happened in that story. And then, you know, with Simba looking to his father like, you are my son and the one true king. Remember who you are. Then came back home and like, yeah. That's what I love about it, that it touched on a lot of things that I felt like that, well, with Snow White did it, but it went deeper and darker. I think, in my opinion, with The Lion King. And, you know, talk about losing a father. And then what I love about it, and it's true what the documentary has said, that it talks about a father and son's relationship, which you never seen in movies at all. It's always sometimes a daughter and the father's relationship, or a daughter and mother's relationship. So with The Lion King, where it hits young men the most, where they look at their relationship with their father and what their father meant to them. And then when they lose their father, what am I going to do? Now, how can I be a man now? How can I be this king that my father instilled in me, that he believed that I can be a good king? Now I'm losing it. And then you get a wake up call, maybe in a dream, or maybe somebody like Rafiki trying to tell you, you know who you are. He lives in you. And you know what? And I hate the fact that they didn't put that song. They put that song in The Lion King too, but and I got the soundtrack, the Rhythm of the Pride Lands. I got it. But oh, if they put that in the main movie, like The Circle of Life, and He Lives in You, oh my gosh, I love He Lives in You. Ah, let me tell you. Oh, don't cry, because you know with Malcolm Jamal Warner passing away, and then talk about The Lion King, it really is going to hit hard, because with The Circle of Life, we all are one. No matter what, we are beside each other, with each other, inside of each other. We are a circle of life that's going to keep on going, and He lives in you, never going away. Oh gosh, I mean, The Lion King like touched on everything. It You cannot tell me that you had like a spiritual moment, a little bit of spiritual moment. Me, it's a whole lot of spiritual moment. I cried at the beginning of the movie when Rafiki held up Simba. That's just a signature of, you know, uh, where, you know, when you give birth, you give, you know, back to God. My mother and father said that they had done that with me and my three other siblings. Like, you know, God gave us, you know, a child, we give it back and whatnot. So I think in other cultures they did it too, but I know in the African culture, it also bled into the Black American culture. I'm American. We do that still to this day. And not only that, The Lion King is so fun, and you have Timon and Pumbaa, Nathan Lane, and I know the dude's name is Pumbaa because I see him in and out, and he was on Saved by the Bell. You know, just the fact that where, you know, while, you know, you grieving and you are wandering alone, and now you have two people, you know, to pick you up when you are down. I mean, that's like, you know, what people need if you lost someone, and if you don't have anyone to go to, it's like, where's my rock? I have my rock. Honestly, my uncle is my rock. You know, after my sister died, it's like I can't even like. who can I go to? It's like either that my grief is shared, is never my own. But I feel like that with, even though he lost someone who was dear to him, and I listened to him because that is his grief, but I understood his grief. And I'm still understanding his grief because I've gone through it. And he understands mine. And so it's like, we even though we share grief, but it's not to a point where like my grief is his grief or his grief is my grief. It's kind of like, okay, when is my grief going to be acknowledged? Like he acknowledges my grief, and I acknowledge his grief, and he's the only one that lifted me up, and that's why this movie meant so much to me in that aspect, and also in the aspect of, who you are, where you came from. Don't isolate yourself. Do what you're supposed to do. You know your destiny. You know what's your destiny. I'm figuring that out even till this day. Like I know my destiny, but what can I do to fulfill that destiny? It's that fear also that they portray in the Walking Dead, the Lion King. So that's why the Lion King will forever be transparently, like in looking at you having transparency in Disney movie history, is going to be that number one best Disney movie, animated movie of all time. You can't, people say Mulan. I get it, but The Lion King is still number one. No one can top The Lion King because it still holds to this day. So being transparent, yeah, The Lion King is the best. But for me, what impacted me is number two. So number two is 1994's The Lion King. Coming in at number one of my top three favorite Disney animated movies is 1989's The Little Mermaid. Yes. Okay. Now, I know I'm not supposed to say this about myself, and I know I got to silence this, but I was The Little Mermaid. I was a 304 through and through with The Little Mermaid. Let me tell you something. Just like The Wizard of Oz, I was the Little Mermaid's tramp. Yes, I was. I got the book bag. I got the lunchbox. Uh-huh. What else? Okay, the movie. I even got the game. I got the sleeping bag. I mean, I was living in the Little Mermaid glory. I was Ariel. It's something about redheads that look first Dorothy, then all of a sudden, Ariel, right? You're like, okay. The Little Mermaid is is also a good story to tell, even though it's different. About a young teenage girl who wants to live life like humans. It's kind of like, oh, like what is like there has to be more to see, and she just want to be walking like humans, running and jumping, and anybody can understand where she's coming from. I mean, I could understand like with Simba, with Belle, and with Ariel. What all of them have in common is, well, with Simba it's like that fear of facing destiny and being king, and with Belle is more of like, I want to have adventure, but how can I get that? With Ariel, it's just like I want to be there, and I want to, like, I can't because I'm a mermaid, but I do want to be human. And what got her going and wanted to achieve that goal was Eric. I know, but it's like I wanted to be human so bad, and so when in the way that her father kind of like destroyed her dream, and there's a reason why he acted the way he acted, he reacted towards, like humans and stuff, because it was the humans that unalived his wife. And so it's like, no, you're not going to do that. And then you get Ursula, and if you want to be human, you got to give up your precious thing, and that's Ariel's voice. And Ariel signed a contract and gave her voice, and but she was human. She wanted to be near Eric, and she has to kiss him before. Uh, what? How many? Was it 3 days? Before the sunset on the third day. Yeah, see, I had to go through the whole line, and so if she kissed him, she would remain human. But see, Ursula kind of like, no, I don't want that because I want my just due. I want the ocean and stuff. But Ariel got her man, and father because father gave her the wish of becoming human, and it was so. And then like Lion King is like the father and daughter relationship. It's like I know that you grown. She's 16, and it's kind of like I'm not a kid anymore. I want to live my life, but at the same time, it's like I don't want to lose my daughter because I lost my wife. It's understandable. And then all of a sudden you in love with a human? Oh heck no. and but it's kind of like I gotta let her go. It is so profound. And then when she hugged him and told her father, "I love you, Daddy." I had to imagine how fathers feel when their daughter, who they love so much, hugged them, and when they finally let go of their daughter, and hearing from their daughter's mouth saying that "I love you, Daddy," and it's like reminiscing when they came into this world as little girls, like their daddy's girl and stuff, and just say, "Oh, I hate to let go of my daughter, but she has to grow." And because I'm close with my father. Okay, I am closer with my father. We never had like any problems, but we're cool. It was like a little lump in the road, but I love my father. I love my daddy. I love my daddy. And this movie, his so close to my heart because it reminds me of my childhood more so than the other two. Even because only reason why I'm stumbling because this movie just hits hard, like The Wizard of Oz. But with The Little Mermaid, it makes me miss my childhood so much. And if anybody asks me what are your fondest memories, I'll be like when I was a little girl in the apartment that I lived in, and a little bit when we moved in '93. I said what I can remember 1988, the things I can remember a little bit in 1988 to 1994. Those were the prime moments in my life as a child. And The Little Mermaid keeps reminding me how good I had it as a child and how good it was. When how good I had it. Yeah, I don't even know why I think it's because, right now it's like I miss my childhood so bad. So that's the reason why I always keep my childlike personality because I do adult things, yeah, but when it's done and over with, I go back to the child that's in me. She's still in me. And when I watch my playlist, the cartoons that I look at when I was little, even like Disney movies, even movies that are not even children at all, even movies that really truly is like a childhood memory. It's like I miss it so much, and I wish God gave me the rewind button. I rewind it and keep on rewinding once it hit the 95 mark. It's not to say as a child when I was in the 90s, rest of the 90s, that I didn't. There was no good moments. It was good moments, like for TV movies in the 90s. Yes, but it's something about the late 80s, early 90s that got me in a chokehold. It did. It did. And The Little Mermaid was one of the best animated Disney movies for me that got me in a chokehold when it comes to my childhood. And for Disney to open that door to for movies like Beauty and the Beast and The Lion King and Aladdin to explore music in different genres, right? From other cultures. Yeah, The Little Mermaid did it all. It was because of The Little Mermaid we wouldn't have Aladdin, we wouldn't have Beauty and the Beast, we wouldn't have The Lion King. Um, you can say Oliver and Company in a way, kind of little open that door a bit, or you can say Aristocats. But it was The Little Mermaid, and The Little Mermaid will always be my number one favorite Disney animated movie. So coming in at number one is 1989's The Little Mermaid. So let's do a recap of my top three favorite Disney animated movies. Coming in at number three is 1991's Beauty and the Beast. Coming in at number 2 is 1994's The Lion King. And coming in at number 1 is 1989's The Little Mermaid. So what are your your favorite top animated Disney movies? Put in the comment section below, and I will see you next time. So peace, love, and happiness to all of you. Stay cool, don't be no fool, and use a tool of what? Knowledge. Deuces. Bye.